Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to a new video. Today we are going to be decorating for spring. I'm going to be sharing us some really simple tips and tricks for seasonal decorating and hopefully give you a little bit of inspiration. Let's jump right in. Like I mentioned in the intro, I'm going to do some really simple spring decorating, and I hope that this encourages you to pull out your bins, reuse what you already have. I really don't think you have to spend a lot of money to create a beautiful home, and I love to share those practical tips and tricks here on my channel. If you're new, I'm Liz. I would love if you subscribe. I would love to have you join our community here on YouTube. Right before we jump into the simple spring decorating, I wanted to share today's video sponsor, Inyouths. They sent me this gorgeous customized LED mirror for my kids' bathroom, which I'm so excited for because I am refreshing this space, and you can choose from 30 different size options, also different shapes depending on your design style or the room that you're working with. So unlike standard mirrors, they offer 11 different feature options. This one has Bluetooth speaker, it has a clock, an anti-fog setting. You can even get one with Wi-Fi weather stations, so many different fun little add-ons, which the kids have been really enjoying. They offer factory direct pricing, safety, durability. I also wanted to mention that I was very impressed with the delivery of this mirror. It came right to my front door. It was delivered in perfect condition. The packaging, you can tell that they put a lot of care into protecting the mirror for delivery. My husband installed this really easily, just like you would any normal mirror. Make sure you measure it correctly, add the appropriate weight anchor on the back of the mirror. They offer a couple different options. You can have the mirror hardwired, or you can have a plug-in feature, which makes it really simple for installation. You have different settings of light depending on what you like for your own personal space. We enjoy more warmer lights here, so I was able to customize it to that. And just, it's a really beautiful mirror, and they have so many different options on their website. I will have a link to Inyouths in my description box. Please go over and check them out. Look at all of the different options, especially if you are refreshing a space. On the topic of refreshing, this is definitely a space that I want to tackle over the next couple of months. I would love to add some wallpaper to really highlight this beautiful mirror. And this mirror actually comes in a few different finishes. I went with the black just because I really like the modern feel, especially in this bathroom. I also wanted to just mention that having a Bluetooth mirror is a luxury, absolutely, but the kids are really enjoying listening to music and even listening to podcast audiobooks. You can do that all through the mirror, which is great. But I love how one thing can really just inspire you to refresh your space, and the beautiful look of this mirror definitely has done that for me. They really do have so many different features. I will have a link to Inyouths in my description box, along with a coupon code that will save you 15% off of your purchase. So if you do decide to add one of these mirrors to your home, don't forget to use that coupon code. Thank you again to Inyouths for sponsoring today's video. Let's start decorating. Getting started here in the living room, and like I said, I'm going to be sharing simple ways to bring spring in. And whenever I'm decorating, regardless of the season, I always start here because this is the anchor of our entire home. We have a very open concept layout. It just gives me inspiration for the rest of the space. Now, when it comes to spring decorating specifically, I love to use greenery. One of my favorite greenery to use is eucalyptus because I feel like it's so interchangeable. I actually found a huge bunch of this eucalyptus at a thrift store quite a while ago, and I used it for fall, for Christmas, and I'm using it again for spring. And I love this one specifically for spring because it has those little buds on the edges of it. Anytime you can bring in like budded branches, it just really speaks to spring. New beginnings, new life, all of that. So I am going to use this beautiful vase. I actually thrifted this, so very inexpensive. And I'm going to do a little arrangement using the eucalyptus. And I really love just an organic kind of flow of branches. And then another really inexpensive way to bring in some florals is to dry some out from your garden. So I have these beautiful hydrangeas that are from our garden, and I just dried out a bunch of them at the end of fall, and together I think it just creates the most beautiful, simple spring floral arrangement, and it didn't cost me anything. So keeping greenery that is evergreen, that's something that you can use season after season, and then adding a specific seasonal floral in to your greenery is really just so simple and beautiful. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this over here. And I love how that looks. It's very substantial. I like using bigger pieces when I'm styling. I just feel like it looks less busy and more curated. And on the other side, I'm gonna go in with this gorgeous piece of pottery. I thrifted this a few weeks ago, and I originally was gonna turn it into a lamp, but I actually just love the way that it is, and I love how it looks. And I think it does really help anchor the other side. It still gives it visual interest because it's not the exact same as what we have going on that side. So I'm gonna go ahead and switch that out. And that's another tip to bring spring in, is to use kind of lighter colors, more natural materials, kind of keep it a little bit more light. And I feel like that really does balance out quite nicely and goes with the color palette of the flowers as well. Now I'm just gonna add candlesticks, and I thrifted these a while back and absolutely love them. They're these beautiful crystal candlesticks, and I will probably switch them out kind of closer to summer, just to something even a little bit more light and airy. But I really do love using glass this time of year. I think that, again, it just feels a little bit lighter, less heavier than like something like brass, which I do feel is timeless. There's something about glass that I really do enjoy for the spring. So I'm gonna go ahead and use these, and I'm gonna use them on this side just to bring some of the glass over here. Again, kind of balance things out. And my next tip for bringing spring in really simply is using colors that reflect the season that you're decorating for. I have these beautiful sage green with a hint of blue. They're so, so beautiful. And using tapered candles in a different color is super inexpensive to do for seasons, and you can find these in the dozens at the thrift store. So many different colors, patterns, textures, you name it. They usually have them bagged up with like several of them, so you really get quite the collection. But I did thrift these quite a while ago, and a trick that I have that I shared in a previous video is when you have the same size candlestick holders and you want to create more of a variation in height, all you have to do is trim one of your candles, and it will give you that illusion that one is smaller than the other, but in fact, it's just the candle that's shorter. Speaking of those seasonal trinkets, I do love using bunnies here and there. I have a few in the kitchen that we're gonna style today, but for the mantle, I thrifted this gorgeous brass watering can a few weeks ago. It still has the price tag, $2.99, and something about it, I loved it. It's so tiny and simple. I thought, how pretty, and what a nice little nod to spring without being a bunny and something I need to take down right when Easter happens. I thought that this was such a beautiful, sweet way of adding some spring decor. Such a simple way to, again, add that little touch of spring, but without being over the top. So I really do love how that looks. And Another really simple tip I have is in your textiles to really bring in different colors and textures that reflect the season. I love these. Again, that's the sage green, is so perfect for spring and works really well with the candlesticks. So I feel like it flows really nicely. Nothing is more rewarding than cleaning your spaces and getting ready for spring. Just again, breathing that new life into your home. And one of my favorite cleaners for this time of year is the Method All-Purpose Cleaner in the lime and sea salt fragrance. It smells so fresh and clean and goes along perfectly with this time of year. And another tip that I love to do is use consumable items as decor. Just so simple, something that you use every single day. I add a lemon to my smoothie every morning. So having it out on the counter makes sense and also just adds this beautiful burst of color and just this brightness that spring brings. I do love adding touches of seasonal specific decor, whether this is nutcrackers at Christmas time or right now for spring, bunnies. And like I said at the beginning of the video, I really didn't want to buy anything new this year, and these are things that I've had in my collection, which it is worth getting yourself a bin. I get mine at Walmart and I have them labeled for each season, and I just keep those key items that I love to pull out year after year. So this cookie jar I picked up at Walmart probably 5 years ago, and I love it. It's very simple, classic. I love, of course, the brass detail on his ear, and just super, super cute. And I love to pair it with this beautiful stone bowl that I thrifted. And you can switch this out if you wanted to put candy is another consumable item that you could decorate with, artichokes. I mean, sky's the limit. I just love lemons because I use them, like I said, every day, and they're just so bright and beautiful. And then I have this one, same thing, I've had this for years, just a wood silhouette of a bunny, and I love to put it near the stove just as a little pop of spring and seasonal decor. And the last thing I wanted to share was simple grocery store florals. Nothing says spring to me more than some beautiful tulips. So that's what I went with. And I'm just placing them in this beautiful pitcher that I thrifted. Again, just pulling from my collection what I have and using that without feeling the need to go out and buy a bunch of things. Super simple, understated, but yet so, so beautiful. And that's gonna do it for today's video. Thank you so much for stopping by. I am so grateful for every single one of you. I hope you enjoyed spending this time with me and I was able to pass on just a little bit of inspiration. I really do appreciate each and every one of you, and I hope you have the most beautiful day. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, everyone.